Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and calls number 321-394. Case is filed with State of Texas versus Chase Wade Ellis. We have Mr. Ellis, who is present in the courtroom. Let's see. The case is not set for the PSI. We're continuing the continuation of the show cause that we had on last Friday. The PSI is due on sentences is set for October 28th. Okay, this is cause number 321-394. Case is filed with the State of Texas versus Chase Wade Ellis. We have Mr. Ellis, who's in court with his attorney Keith Ellis, and we have the state present and being represented by Assistant District Attorney Tommy Coleman. On last week, at least a week ago, which was October 10th of 2022, court had a show cause hearing to have Mr. Ellis have Mr. Chase Ellis to answer why he had not been to the probation office to be interviewed for the PSI, which is due and be given to the court by October 28th of 2022. The court conducted a hearing on that date, and the court on that date after the hearing took this matter under advisement to review some statements that was made in that hearing, specifically those statements regarding instructions that was given to Mr. Ellis from the court that his attorney, Mr. Keith Ellis, said was on the YouTube tape, and that they had viewed prior to the hearing that we had on October 10th of 2022. On last week, October 10th, 2022, I think the statement was made by Mr. Keith Ellis, Mr. Ellis's attorney, that the court had informed Mr. Chase Ellis that the court would contact him regarding when he should report to the probation office to have to be interviewed for his PSI. And I think based on that, the court took it under advisement to look at the transcript. The court met with the court reporter, and apparently that was an off the record, because the court reporter stated that when we looked at the record, it had an off the record conversation. And then so the court reviewed the YouTube channel, and looking at the YouTube channel at 1 minute 13 seconds and 1 minute 13.32 seconds, the court announced that Mr. Chase Ellis was guilty. At 1:13:39, the court ordered a PSI, and between 1:17:02 to 1:18:12, the court reviewed any statements that was made. There was no statements that was made on the YouTube channel informing Mr. Ellis that the court would contact him regarding the PSI or him reporting on the PSI. And so those statements that was made was not on the YouTube channel as was stated by Attorney Ellis. So the court has now Mr. Ellis, Mr. Chase Ellis. I know that on the 10th of October, when we had the hearing, you stated that you had a interview the next day, which was the 11th of October, 2022. And before I ask him the question, Mr. Keith Ellis, now, do you want to ask him the question? I just need to, recorders need to find out whether or not he went to the interview.
Your Honor, I have no problem with you asking, or I'll ask him, whichever way you decide to do it.
Okay. Let's do this here. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ellis, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Ellis, that interview that you had on the 11th with the probation department, did you go to that interview?
Yes, sir.
And did you complete the interview?
Yes, sir. I had to bring my, I didn't have my valid driver's license. I had an old one, and so I had to bring the driver's license the next day. And so I brought it by there the next day. I guess I completed it.
Okay, so they didn't tell you had to come back for any more interviews?
No, sir.
They didn't ask you for any additional information?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, I think Miss Redmond, who is our court coordinator, did someone at the probation department speak to you, or you spoke to them?
Yes, and Miss Judy, she's one of the probation officers over there.
Okay, in the PSI department?
Yes,
And what did she tell you?
she said that he did, he came on October the 11th and completed his interview
Okay, and when did you talk to Miss Judy?
on the 12th, October 12th.
Okay, and how long did she say she had to do the paperwork?
She asked for 2 weeks.
That'll be the 26th. Okay,
And I told her we would keep it on the 28th.
okay,
Originally.
okay. So apparently, Mr. Ellis, the information that they needed to have to present the court with a PSI by the 28th, apparently that has been done. Okay. So at this, the court is not going to hold Mr. Ellis in contempt. The court is not going to order him to go to jail to get information for the PSI because the probation department has that information for the PSI. Okay. And so that is the ruling of the court. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
So yeah, we'll be, yeah, you may be excused. We'll see everyone on the 28th.
So,
But sentencing,
It's still.
yes, 28th, right. Except in there, you need a copy of the reset. We can give you a copy if you need one. Okay. Here will be